Hello, welcome to Miniature Magic. In today's video I will be discussing the Dragon of Icepire Peak and my process making this amazing miniature. Okay, so as always I started off basing. So as you can see here I made some custom crystals for this base and I used some Icepire to do this. Icepire, if you haven't seen my channel, it's a material I commonly use. Some people just call it insulation foam or extruded polystyrene, but Icepire is the brand of the one I use, so I call it Icepire. So I just cut it up into these crystal-like shapes and put it on this provided base to build up some interest. Then what I went along and did is I just added some dirt on top of this, and that is basically how I made the base. So now it was time to do the painting. I started off wanting to have like a fleshy tone under the blues and whites of the young white dragon, but this didn't really come into fruition. I did start painting it on, but later regretted it and covered it back up. But so anyways, what a major part of this process was just painting blues over everywhere. I just used some craft paint blues and colors like that. I layered those over and then I added the whites on top of that. So the whites, obviously because it's a young white dragon, it needed to be quite white, but because it is also an ice type dragon, I did want that blue in there because the blue does just help bring it together and give the feeling of cold. So I wanted to find a balance of that and the whites. So then also the parts that were scaly, right? So that's like the bridge of his back. I did quite a bit of grays there, so I wanted to break the monotony of the blue and white, so I added some grays. Another thing you'll see as I'm painting this is that I added some purples just to create some warmer tones, not to just make the whole piece extremely blue, because purple is still a cool color, but it has some red in there, so it also just adds some life to the dragon. So now it's on to the final part of the miniature, because now I have painted the actual dragon itself. It is time to move on to the base. So I painted the base using basically just browns, and then I used a cyan for the crystals, highlighting that with some white. So yeah, that's the base. Then we move on to the flames. I am really proud of them. Obviously it's not exactly flames, I don't really know what it is, but it does give the feeling of flames. Just because it is an ice dragon, I'm not sure how to depict that. But so as you can see here, I used some stuffing from a cushion, and I dipped it in blue paint, and I painted it with blue paint, and I spray painted it as well with some white to make the blue only be on the inside, and that gave a really cool effect. The way I propped it up was by putting a wire through it, so yeah, the wire would keep it sturdy. Then also another interesting thing you might notice is this rope here. This rope I added because of something that happened in my running of the Dragon of Icepire Peak. The players managed to lodge a hemp rope into the dragon, and I wanted to include this as a fun detail for them. So all I basically did is I made the rope rigid and malleable with wood glue, because the rope, this little string, soaks up the wood glue, and then I can position it so that it looks like it's floating and like flowing through the air, and I'm really proud of how that turned out. for the painting of that, I basically just added some brown. Then for foliage and snow, I just used some brown grass. I obviously applied this in my usual method of just dipping some wood glue on a paintbrush or something, making a glob of it and putting the grass on and shaking it off. It creates quite a nice effect. Then I used sodium bicarbonate for the snow. It doesn't yellow, which is quite nice, and all I had to do there was as well just use some wood glue and put the sodium bicarbonate on top. I did eventually also seal that with some hairspray, because otherwise the sodium bicarbonate would go everywhere. But without further ado, let's get right into the reveals. Hello, welcome to the end of the video. If you aren't subscribed, I hope this video has earned you a subscription. And if you are, I hope this has earned your like. If you are a DM running the Dragon of Icepire Peak, I would highly suggest getting this miniature. It does bring a lot of excitement to the table when you pull this out for the final battle. My fight went incredibly well, I would say. And everyone enjoyed it so much, apart and thanks to this amazing miniature. This Wiz Kids miniature really is a really nice sculpt. I love the dynamics of it, and just with some customization it just added even more on top of that. So to all you DMs out there, best of luck for your Dragon of Icepire Peak campaign. It is a really fun campaign to run, and I'll see you guys again soon. Later. Bye.